political message to gain vote is one part. But if they're actually talking from its original sense, there we have an issue. But they were actually driven out of this particular parts of Dimapur area by the Ahom king, the Hingga Raja, in 1539. I consider that statement very immature. It's like trying to steer a hornet's nest. He was mentioning that there will be confusion, chaos, and even bloodshed. Hearing news, hearing the demand, and hearing statement of certain, either association or community like the Dimasas, who are claiming that Dimapur belongs to them. Now in that aspect, what will the Naga people say? Therefore, recognizing, giving an indigenous status without properly going through the history can invite all these vested interests to actually aggravate the issue and will give them a mileage to such kind of demands. So as long as it is not proven that they are indigenous, then they are migrants.
Hello viewers, welcome to Fort Nagaland News. Apni hodai Naga society upor de alag alag khobor issues khan dekhai thake nishna ajibi kali koi thake nishna RPP President Sir Joel Naga lo khota goise man kile mane yete icha 1176 posts police constable recruitment upor de yete RPP aro ILRC tahan majode counter itu ekjon ekjon counter hui thakala upor de ki karne ase kiniga ase ki bhabna ase to lugo gena apni oja nishna aji ahine thakya do ame anete ILRC laga chairman Sir NSN Lotha aro he is also the former candidate aro and also former JDU Northeast president tailo de ahine ase itula khota upor de janibole karne ahibi to upor de sailo aro sir kibi time diarne bishi thanks di ase aro ajikile aisho gule do yete amian kali RPP President Sir Joel Naga logo khota koine ahine counterpart lo khota ko kwa karne aji yete aro ahine Sir NSN lo thalo ahine sugune janai de ase aro itu ki ase gule icha 1176 post police constable tahan laga recruitment la upor de counter jai thaka itu upor de ase RPP laga statement aro ILRC Inner Line Regulation Commission tahan upor de. So sir, we'll move on. To moi itu again aja ge apni jan ge apni han baidu statement dia la upor de. Apni han laga bhabna ki ase itu olop janum jase itu sailise dikhilise olubi once again apni lo de apna mukpa huni saw.
See, as far as NSF is concerned, Amagan Naga Student Federation, actually it's the third oldest organization of the Naga society after Naga Club, Naga National Council. So having been formed in 1947, NSF is its own working system, has its own stand. We go with the constitution. So our statement vis-a-vis the RBP press statement on this indigenous issue, it is not a new stand. In fact, it fortunately and unfortunately coincided with what the RBP stated in the press media. And here, I do not want to particularize only on the police recruitment, because the very issue that we been pointed out is on the usages of the word indigenous. And as far as the Naga Student Federation is concerned, we have our own stand. Nagas are indigenous to our land, and when the word Nagaland was coined, it means to say that it is the land of the Nagas. So, we are very particular to that, and for which we have made our stand clear that the application of the word indigenous to any non-Naga is unacceptable. That is the stand. And we also made it very clear that those non-Nagas who have existed before 1st December 1963, they should be given a suitable status, a category where they should not be left out. That also we have made it very clear. We have not, our statement did not deprive those people who were in Nagaland before 1963. So we have kept the room open for them also. To taigan garnibi, amagan Nagaland de thaga ki benefit pabo lage, ki legally established rules and regulation ase, etu kuri kina taigan kebi accommodate kuribi. Iniga question. Etu garne, as far as the stand of the Commission is concerned, it is very clear. The statement has given a very minute detail, and see, NSF system is very clear. Suppose if the Commission statement is to be reviewed, it can be reviewed, because even the decision of the Executive Council of the Naga Student Federation is reviewed by the highest decision-making body of the NSF, that is the Federal Assembly. Therefore, the stand is clear, and the Commission stand by that very statement.
So, sir, apne statement about the statement that you gave through various medias, tate likhine thakya do apne only Nagas are the indigenous. Etu dikhina ase amhan.
Yes. Yes.
So, like non-Naga indigenous tribes of Nagaland, as mentioned yesterday, Kuki, Garo, Kachari, Mikir. So, aren't they tahandu indigenous no hina kinga according to the statement? My question for this just.
Yes, yes. Abandi ko do thik ase. Etu taigan ki indigenous tiya do, it is by the order of the government. The order of the government on various, years, taigan ki indigenous status taken ase. To amagan do, as far as NSF is concerned, we don't accept it. Aro government decisions cannot go against the will of the people. The will of the people is supreme. That is why many orders of the government gets reviewed, gets revoked. So, the standing government order does not mean that it should be at the cost of the Naga people. And we are very clear that any tribe or any community that can prove that they are indigenous to the land of the Nagas, if they can prove it, we have no issue. And here, let me be very particular. We have not questioned the scheduled tribe status of those tribes, particularly the Kacharis, the Garos, and so on. But we are questioning the indigenous status. So this has to be separated. That is what I want to say.
Sir, on personally to you, this question though, apna bhavna upor ase. Why do you not consider the non-Naga indigenous as non-indigenous? Apna bhavna upor.
Yes, that's a very good question. See, when you talk about the definition, the meaning of the word indigenous, it means to say that it's the land and its people, their culture. So, when it says land and its people, then what does it mean? It means that they are indigenous to that land. It existed for them. They were there since time memorial, and for which they are indigenous to that very land that they occupy. So, I understand that there are different opinions about this indigenous thing. So if I dwell on this much, it will be like an academic session, like teaching somebody, and I don't want to do that, because one must understand the concept from different perspective. So, as far as NSF perspective is concerned, we go with the definition of the United Nations organization. In fact, the NSF attended the 17th session of the United Nations Working Group on Indigenous Population in 1999 in Geneva. It's not a new thing for NSF as far as the word indigenous is concerned. So, some people may look like it's a new stand, it's a new thing, but relevant to what is happening now, yes, it's new for some people, but it is not a new thing for the Naga Student Federation. And I also understand that, yes, directly let me talk about the RBP stand on this indigenous. I feel that if they are taking it as a political approach, I have nothing to say, because as a politician, sometimes they go for vote banks. Political message to gain vote is one part. But if they are actually talking from its original sense, there we have an issue. For instance, they talk about kacharis. I want to know how far the RBP knows about the history of the kacharis. In way back in the 10th, 11th century, it is learned that some kacharis were there in certain parts of Dimapur. But they were actually driven out of these particular parts of Dimapur area by the Ahom king, the Hingga Raja, in 1539. So when they were already driven out of this place, now, how do you look on that area? If you have already left that place, can you come and claim that it is your land? That is also another chapter. But these are all academic matter, because you need to know the history as well as the British colonization of the Naga Hills. How the Nagas fought against the British when they were trying to occupy the Naga Hills. And Dimapur area was very much a part of the grazing ground of the Nagas. You won't believe that even in the late 1850s, Nagas, they went and raided the Lamding police station. So how far is Lamding police station if you talk about Dimapur? So if you look at all this history, then you will only understand what is the meaning of the word indigenous, who were here, and what are the Nagas, though this land occupied by the Nagas since our ancestral days.
So, sir, looking at this yesterday's interview, I took some questions. There's one. There's two questions to ask you, but one. Firstly, you do yes this misleading statement, chaos and confusion. How was kanla interview te because of what apne han laga ki statement di na kya say to ILRC पर. So what do you have to say on it, sir?
Yeah. In fact, I have also gone through the interview of the President RPP, and I would not like to stoop down to that level and particularize it, because I consider that statement very immature. It's like trying to steer a hornet's nest. He was mentioning that there will be confusion, chaos, and even bloodshed. Those things actually should not be stated, because As far as the statement of NSF is concerned, if you very sensibly read, if you go through the statement in a holistic approach, you will understand. But trying to just take out few phrases, few sentences, and use it to actually whitewash the whole statement is very immature. Therefore, I would like to request each and everyone to discern the statement of the Commission from a holistic point of view.
So, sir, next, yesterday, about the quota for the non-Naga indigenous, what is your stand on it, sir, or the ILRC?
See, as far as the quota is concerned, it is not the, it is outside the purview of the Commission. The Inner Line Regulation Commission is tasked with a particular working guideline. It is not autonomous to NSF. And whatever statement that is given by the Commission in whichever area, it is done in consultation and with the knowledge of the Naga Student Federation. Therefore, the issue of quota is something which is outside the purview of the Commission, for which the NSF will take an appropriate stand on it.
So, sir, regarding the press statement, you have mentioned those, I mean, you said migrants can get to nidibo lage aro itu inga din ase ekta statement
Yeah.
and kali interview lo hisab there, even to our knowledge all up to sa hisab de itu indigenous ko do years pa sal ba bosti thaken inga according to the UN kali explain kudisile amen interview lo amne villages establishment thakile. Say for like example dine kali kui dia nishna garo bosti thakse aro ase chabi beshi lomba bra kima sal ya hundreds of years par ne inga gurne yede as mentioned kacharis mikuris na to tate hujum ja thake to can be same question kurche. So ami hudi somja se how can you call them migrants, sir?
See, when we say migrant, there should be no misunderstanding on the issue of those people who might have settled hundreds of years back. But we are particularizing on giving the status to a particular community. Suppose if a village has been there, it should be particular to those village or that village, but not the community as a whole. Because by giving an indigenous status to the community as a whole, will open a Pandora box for other for other members of that community to take advantage. I don't know how many of our Naga people, including the RPP, understands the nomenclature of the word Kachari. Kachari is an umbrella name, and under Kachari, they have like these Dimasas, the Boros, the Sonowal. All this comes under Kachari. So they say Sonowal Kachari, Dimasa Kachari. What do you call it?
Match.
Bodo Kachari. So Kachari actually is the umbrella name. So by recognizing Kachari, now, if all these tribes takes advantage, who will be responsible for it? So, and when I say that this kind of issue is sensitive, because we have been of late hearing news, hearing the demand and hearing statement of certain, either association or community like the Dimasas who are claiming that Dimapur belongs to them. Now in that aspect, what will the Naga people say? Should we say that Dimapur belongs to the Dimasas? That's my question. Therefore, recognizing, giving an indigenous status without properly going through the history can invite all these vested interests to actually aggravate the issue and will give them a mileage to such kind of demands. That is why we are very particular, and we have used the word migrants. Yes, we did not mince word with that. So as long as it is not proven that they are indigenous, then they are migrants or immigrants, whichever way you call it.
So, sir, again coming to your statement, I mean to say ILRC, only Nagas are the indigenous question. So we have, we have Nagas in Manipur, Assam, Arunachal. So only Nagas question, which Nagas, sir?
See, we have said that Nagas are indigenous to the land that they inhabit. Therefore, this artificial boundary is totally a different chapter. It's a different chapter, but the word indigenous is only applicable to the Nagas where they inhabit. So we have not taken all this artificial boundary into consideration, but we are particularizing about the Nagas as to who they are, as to what they are in the land that they occupy. So, yes, Nagas of Nagaland, Nagas of Manipur, there's so much of saying. However, this is very deeply political in nature, and for which, as far as the NSF is concerned, our constitution says that NSF is the apex body of the Naga students in over all the Naga inhabited area. However, with the passage of time, since state has been created, we are also bound to deal with state issue. And as far as the state of Nagaland is concerned, we are talking about the indigeneity within the state of Nagaland, which does not particularize or which does not deprive the other Nagas outside Nagaland in this very stand of the NSF.
One last question for you. Holibi to do out of the box now etela no hoy. Since apnian ILP la uporde spearhead korne jase. So janum je thake icha to kiman korne jao pare se amyan dikhi thake to icha to inega implement kora Dimapur dubi thik pan korne ja inega dikha do no hoy. तो किनका अपने सर अपना काम किनका जासी चाहते कि तो ILP लगा issue upward.
See, as far as inner land pass system is concerned, because of various factors, Dimapur has been left out, and only by the order of the government in the last part of 2024, Dimapur has been brought under the purview of the inner land regulation, which is also within the provision of Bengal Eastern Frontier Regulation of 1873, that the chief executive officer can always redraw the line, depending on the convenience of the administration. So, Dimapur cannot be an exception. Dimapur cannot have a different set of rules, and other districts will have the different set of rules. It has to be uniformly applied, and NSF stand is very clear. 1963, 1st December is the cutoff year. So that is what the NSF stands for. And I also understand that because of the new application, there are some confusions in Dimapur districts or Newland or Jumugitama. And I'm really happy that the district administration is also taking up a lot of sensitization exercise. And we also, NSF also has said like, in these very three districts, initially it can be a little bit lenient so that people understand it, and that much relaxation can be done by NSF, for which we have already conveyed to the various district administration. Enough sensitization should be done, and then stringent enforcement thereafter followed.
Okay, sir. Hoda amen interview lo abisi ekta. Full interview lo ase. Taike one message do you go. So what is your message for our people, sir?
Today my message for the Nagas is Nagas, we don't read. And a society that does not read does not learn. A society that does not learn cannot create. A society that does not create cannot plan. A society that does not plan cannot develop. And a society that does not develop remains backward. So my message to the Naga people, old and young, is read. Read so that you will know your rights, and you will know what is happening, and you will know the ideas of intelligent, successful people, and from there you can learn. So read and read.
Thank you so much, sir. Apni ami hange time dia karne ajibi ekbar aro akha se agiri bi kilo iniga ki issue support khota ko dikilo jawo kune.
Thank you so much.
So viewers koi jane chna yete ami han aji yete itu ILRC tahana statement ola upor especially regarding this icha notun recruitment ulai thake police constable post upor counter ja ase. तो इतु लाइक ILRC लाइक की भावना से तो आपने हंगे काली दिखाई दो का निचना आइने ये सर NSN लो थालो आपने हंगे इतु भी आमेहन तालो खोता कोई ने आपने हंगे दिखाई दिया से और जनाई दिया से तो कोई जाने निचना होता है कि लोग लसे लुबी और कि लोग मन्ना that is up to you to decide कोई ने आज ये इंटरव्यू खत्म कर दिया से तो इनका खबर और अलग अलग खबर करने अपने साइड देखो फोर्ट नागालैंड न्यूज़ मारा मचुमी for FNN.